with another movie review. This is a movie review, a movie that I was looking forward to for maybe 30 days. It was the 11:40. I paid $25 and change for this ticket. Oh, it was 25 even. So, $ Elvis Rosenberg. One word. Feel free to help me with this ticket if you found or get any value out of this. It's a value for value show, y'all. Let me just tell you, I didn't see any previews to this because I don't watch trailers, you know? I usually sit outside when the trailers are going, because nowadays you just have to punch in what chair you're going to sit in and you don't have to worry about somebody taking your seat. And this is what theater is this? This is like a special theater. This is the RPX. See that? This is the RPX theater. And the RPX means that the chairs vibrate. And they are also, what else other than the chairs vibrating? Oh, the chairs actually recline. You can lay all the way back. I don't lay all the way back. I put my feet up just a little bit. Nothing crazy. Boy, you look like a man from the Home Alone. Okay, thank you. I'm sure that's an amazing compliment that I'm not even aware of. But I'm here to talk about this Alien movie. And the Alien movie that we're talking about, it's the 7th movie that's been done. And it's the 7th movie, and it's called, it doesn't say here. It just says Rom. Is it Romulan? I put it in the title. What's the word? Oh yeah, Romulus. Thank you. Romulus. I kept thinking about Romulans from Star Trek and that Deep Space Nine. They were the Romulans and the Bajorans. Well, this is not that. This is Romulus. Let me just say this. I'm on the fence. I'm totally on the fence. I know that the Alien movies with Sigourney Weaver surrounded itself around the main character being this woman character, and I know that James Cameron was ahead of his time when he did that movie. As far as pushing this feminist agenda. And when the problem that I had right away from the very beginning was one of the first people we see is this black guy with a very crooked face, crooked eye, like saggy eye face, young in his 20s, and he's playing this role as this very awkward black man, almost as if it was totally on the spectrum. And we find out very quickly that it's not a real person, it's a synthetic. I wasn't surprised by that. I kind of knew that was what it was, but it was just like to see this awkwardness on screen. It just reminds me of like how James Cameron in Aliens was pushing this lead role by this, Sigourney Weaver, and then there was this Sanchez, who was the this very, very, very bulldykey woman who was doing pull-ups, military woman, and who had these guns, and they were pushing this agenda, this feminism agenda that at the time I thought it was really kind of cool. But as the years have gone by, I've gotten, it's worn on me. It's like, all right, I get it. This 110-pound woman could beat a 240-pound man. I get it, right? And beat, a 1,000-pound alien. And I just was like, it was to be expected, the female presence. I didn't expect this autistic android black man. And it kind of threw me, I don't know why it bothered me, but it did bother me. And then he was able to kind of snap out of it once he had his chip replaced by another chip. And then he was like this, very alert, very go-getterish. Even though if you smacked him around a little bit, he would have these like seizures kind of spells that he needed to be coddled in order to get out of. So his character, and almost all the synthetic characters, bothered me. And not necessarily the one in Aliens where he took that knife and he was doing that knife trick on the table. That didn't bother me. There was no comic relief like in most of the Alien movies. There's always, I remember Charles S. Dutton, he was a bit of a comic relief in one of the Alien movies. But, this kind of answered some of the questions that I had from that Charles S. Dutton movie. He was the actor in that, the same guy who played The Rock. On TV, he had a TV show called The Rock, where he was like a neighborhood garbage man or something like that. And he did an Alien movie. Or was that Mimic? Well, I think he did both. I think he did Mimic and I think he did Alien as well. I could be wrong about that. It might have just been Mimic. I'm thinking The Rock did the Mimic movie. But for me, it was like there was no comic relief whatsoever. It was very, very serious. So I kind of liked that. But it was like I didn't know what timeline this was. But I knew that this was a huge colony. It opens up where you have these young people. It's like these really young people. Kind of reminds me of, will we see these people take over, like when you look back at a movie like Hamburger Hill, or you look at a movie like Platoon, and you look back and you see these actors just grow and just do so well. William Dafoe and so many others, you start to say, wow. Like, so this kind of felt like that, because these people that are acting were pretty good. And they were, I believe they were Australian. Because I watched all the credits, and at the end of the credits, it was like New Zealand, giving special thanks to, all these totally non-American, totally, it was very, very much, like this is definitely coming out of Australia. The actors and all these people, I don't know any of the actors. I didn't do any of the, I didn't look up any of them. But it just feels like we're going to look back at this movie and say, wow, this guy was in, and this girl was in this. And the women in the movie outweighed the men. We had, of course, the one who's flying the ship. It was more like a rig that, like a mining rig, because all these colonies are in mines. They're like, all these colonies are basically mine colonies that are mining resources from planets. And a lot of these, it appears that a lot of these colonies, they kind of hinted to it, is these parents left Earth to join these colonies, and they ended up dying very, very young. And they're probably in their 30s. And their children are taking over for them, and their children are now fending for themselves. And of course, when you have children that are fending for themselves, it's almost like, that Spielberg movie where those where those kids were running around on the beach, losing their mind, so to speak. So you have this group of people that are like part of this mining community, and they're realizing that they're never going to get out of this. They're going to be just like their parents, and they're going to die. And you start to think about, wait a minute, and the second Aliens movie, they talked about the colonies, and you start to ask yourself, wait a minute, I think these are the colonies that appeared in the second Aliens movie. And you start to say to yourself, wait a minute, so this timeline, because all of the computers were that of like the 60s and 70s, you know, it was they were really true to that aesthetic of the computers. It wasn't any flat screens or anything like that. It was all tubulars, and I thought the sets were really good. The only set I didn't like was the aliens' lair that was in this huge space station that was slowly collapsing itself into the rings of they weren't Saturn's rings, but they were similar to what you would see Saturn's rings around a planet would be, but these rings were ice. Pretty cool. It was visually, it was really done well. As far as, you know, we kind of like get the idea that this movie is like rocking. It's in between the original movie, and the second movie. And the third one, it answered the questions that the third one raised. The third one raised the question. Don't forget to tap the screen twice. Bang, bang. Tap the screen twice. Bang, bang. Tap the screen twice. Tap the screen twice. That will give it the thumbs up. That's bing, bing. Tap the screen twice. Bing, 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 bing. Thank you. Thank you. You are appreciated. Tap the screen twice. And, you know, this movie had us... It answered the question that the third movie kind of bothered me about. I remember the third movie where it was like this dog was implanted with the alien, you know, that thing that wraps around their face, and that this was the first time that they showed you how long that insertion into the mouth and throat and into the stomach was. The impregnating, so to speak, would be. Tap the screen twice. That's how you do the thumbs up. And what we have is, we have a situation where in that third movie, it moved so fast. This alien went from taking over a dog to now just like taking over this whole environment, and it became like, I was like, wait a minute. So this movie answered that, because from the time this woman who was flying this freight ship, from the time this thing was wrapped around her, down her throat, and impregnating her with this this alien, and you know, this alien creature rips out of your chest or out of your body. It breaks open and it gets out of there. And the first movie, it was hours. There was the guy who was attacked by this thing and impregnated. I keep saying impregnated because I for lack of a better word, this person was like eating dinner at the dinner table, and it was hours and hours later. Whereas now they have sped it up real quickly, where this alien has impregnated into you and was able to bust out of the chest all within like a 30-minute period. So it was a little like helpful to see that, because that's kind of what happened in the third installment of Aliens. And that's why the alien looked a little different, because it came from a dog. So it uses the DNA of, and we learned that from Alien versus Predator, how the alien will take on the characteristic of its host. So, because it's a parasite, you know, don't forget, press the like button by clicking the screen twice. Bing, bing, and there you go. All right, so let me take a look at this. See what we got going here. Thank you for everyone who's tuned in. You are appreciated. Wow, there's a lot going on here. Too late to touch has begun. Too late, the touching has begun. You would be that was from somebody named Master Sword Productions. Oh no, Master Sword Productions. Don't swallow the sword. You would be the only person not touching yourself. And that's hashtag master. Okay. So you guys are you're having your own conversations. I appreciate that. Someone on Razored. Sir, you have the look of a character of a man of wisdom. I appreciate that. You are appreciated for that. Sir, you are criticized or whoa, shadow banned. I see why you're shadow banned. You're super rude. It's okay. That's a personal question you will not get an answer for today. We are going to stay on topic here. E-bagging police. Did the aliens get consent during the movie? You seem like the type of guy who would make a note of that. I would have made a note of that. Absolutely. No, there was no consenting. These aliens do not ask for consent when they impregnate you with their, when they turn you into their host. I came heavily watered. So much for your help, Big Me. Okay. That was from The Warrior. We have also Zip, Corrupt, PX, Shadowband. Again, brother looks like he's behind on child support. That is not true, sir. I owe 0 child support, and I have 3 kids. All right, and I only pay child support for 1. The other 2 live with me. They're my daily drivers. I owe no child support, sir. I'm not a fan of aliens at all, and I've seen all of them. Not a fan, but you see, so that's what you are. You're a supporter. Excluding Romulus. This is from Iron Vox, Verrox. And then we have Radioactive Fire Truck, Laughing My Butt Off, Police. All right. So we have Duno straight off the grid. Wow, you're really okay. Yes, I am extremely happy. Straight off the grid. That's a fact. Thank you for that. He's probably holding on. He's probably holding one of his mouths until the swelling goes down. Ooh, no. What's going on in the chat? Let's keep it PG, y'all. So now, don't forget, hit the like button. Bing, bing, bing. The like button. Bang, bang, bang. Hit it twice. Or you hit the screen twice, and that's how you do the like button. So now, we got this ship that's keeping the aesthetics of... It's the aesthetics of the movie, the first, second, and maybe like, the 4th, 5th, 6th. You know, I don't think the aesthetics were not the same. And we didn't even know, like this is like almost staying true to the first 2 movies. And I put that, I actually, before I pressed record, I went to Wikipedia and I just copied and pasted and put in this description. And in the description, it says what I'm saying now. But as I'm watching the movie, I already figured that out as far as timeline. Because of the colonies. Only thing I was curious as to how did these... I was talking about the young people. So you got this group of young people. You have the pilot, which is a female. I don't know what she identifies as, but I believe she was a female pilot. Then we have female star of the movie, you know, the Sigourney Weaver, so to speak, of the movie. And then there's another woman, a young woman, maybe 18 years old, who's pregnant. And so that's 3 women, right? And then we have the awkward android, black guy. And then the pregnant one was Hispanic. So we have the young Hispanic or olive-colored skin girl. She could be Israeli. She could be some sort of aborigine. But she was a colored girl. and then she's the pregnant one. Then we have one young guy, two young guys, one, two. So we have two guys, an android male, and then three women. So two guys, an android male, and three women. That's six. And they were after 5 cryopods. So they steal this ship, this freight ship, fly this freight ship up to where they saw another ship that happens to not be a ship, as some sort of like space station, huge space station, one of those space stations that can fit 4,000 people. And how are they the only ones to have seen it? I don't know. No one seems to be looking up anymore, even in this colony space. Well, these young people are looking up, and they're looking for a way out. So they were able to find what they thought was a ship, find out that it's a space station, realize that there's 5 cryo tubes in that ship. They're going to go retrieve the cryo tubes so they can find their way to their planet that they want to go to, some sort of place that they've heard of, something that they're all sitting around dreaming about going. So they're very young, they're very ambitious. They say, let's go. They go, and the reason why they needed the android is because the android is a descendant of that guy who in every movie shows up, this android that was created. Even when they did the movie with Sanaya Lathan, where she was where it was like, was it Aliens versus Predator again, or was it just, yeah, it was Aliens versus Predator, and they were in the Antarctica or something to that effect. And that guy that was with a W, I can't remember his name at the moment. Forgive me for that. And it's like the name of the brand of the company. This company always has this agenda, and this military style agenda of always trying to utilize these aliens and try to control them, so to speak. Like, you remember the one where Sigourney Weaver, they brought her back, they found her DNA, they brought her back, and there were several of her there, and she wound up taking the blowtorch and just burning all the other ones that were in the lab. That was one of my favorite ones. And so there's always this synthetic, the synthetic is always there. And while on this spaceship, they find a synthetic, bring it back online, and then they needed to upgrade the one that they had, which is the awkward black guy who's on the spectrum, who now gets a new chip, and now he's totally off the spectrum. He's running around. He's he's being objective. He's not afraid anymore. Don't forget, press the like button by hitting the screen twice. Tap the screen twice, tap the screen twice, tap the screen twice. That's how you hit the like button. So now, I thought it was interesting. The way they kind of like, they held on to the old, and then they introduced us to some new characters that I was feeling for the characters. I liked the characters. I liked the young people and what they were doing. It felt good. It didn't feel like pushed. And I was worried about all of them to some degree. I was like, when they start dying, is it going to be horrific? Is it going to be like, oh my God, like a super horror movie? And I don't think it was, even though I jumped like 4 times, like, oh, because the music was really intense, and the movie theater was only at like 10% capacity, so there wasn't enough of that sound to bounce off of the people. So it was just super loud and super like, oh my God, it's gonna blow my eardrums. So it was easy to jump at certain points. I'm gonna just say this: I like the movie conceptually. I like the movie, but I did not like like I didn't like the inconsistencies. We basically have an alien who is being created from the pilot of the ship. She gets that thing wrapped around her face. They were able to get it off by using they used something with like some sort of not NAS, but some sort of freezing agent. You know, that liquid freeze that if it touches you, it'll just break your finger off into like a glass. And they were able to get it off of her, and it didn't matter. She was still impregnated. This alien comes out of her, becomes, it grows so fast. Like, we're talking about what you would think would take at least a day or two was taking minutes. And it was this huge, rapid growth of these aliens that was kind of like, it was a little off-putting, but it helped explain some of the other movies and how the aliens was moving. But what I didn't like, the inconsistency, was the fact that this alien was able to snatch up the olive-skinned girl who was pregnant and stick her to the wall, and it didn't utilize the suction of the alien. What happened was, there was this weird objective that once this awkward android black guy, he was given a new chip so he have access to opening up doors and things like that. He was reprogrammed with a new objective, and that was to get this science back to the laboratory or back to the people that were in charge. So that became his objective. So a lot of people kind of died because he was like, you know, not opening doors on an emotional basis, knowing that he would be dead. I didn't like the fact that they took that pregnant girl and stuck her on the wall. It's just like every single movie we see, they have to have someone stuck on the wall, and then they have to like hear them crying, run after them. It was like they didn't really, it was a little bit of a stalled script. The script was a little stalled. We done seen this before. We done seen the people up on the walls. That scene, I was like, how the hell did the alien get from the ship from this freight ship that crashed onto the other side of the ship? Like, this ship is huge, thousands of people on this ship, and how the hell did the ship crash into some sort of hangar? And the alien was able to take this pregnant woman and stick her up on the wall, like in a whole nother section of the ship. And this alien was just born, but yet it had this sort of Borg mentality where it was able to just like be mentally synced with the others, where it was able to attach her to the wall. I just like, stop it. I understand that there was some sort of communication, some sort of they communicated on a different kind of level. Warning, you are using, okay. It's letting me know I'm like using way too many gigs this month, I guess. I don't know. But so that was a little off-putting. So there was parts of the movie I didn't like. You know, the scene where the alien is like taking its sweet time to kill this girl in the elevator shaft. I was like, you know, I wanted to be worried about the girl a little more, but I wasn't at some point. I was like, she's not going to die. She's obviously the Sigourney Weaver of this story here. She can't die. She's not going to die. And then the alien that came out of the I keep saying Hispanic woman. I don't know if she's Hispanic, but the olive colored girl, you know, the Puerto Rican. Let's call her the Puerto Rican. So the alien that came out of the Puerto Rican, the way they did it and the transition it was making within minutes. I mean minutes. We're talking about this went from she basically took one of the vials that they were trying to get back to the corporation, and she stuck herself in one of the vials. By sticking herself in one of the vials, she was able to, her baby was then transformed into this alien, and it went from a pod to some sort of alien, human-faced alien that it was, to me, done horribly. It reminded me more of the movie the John Carpenter's The Thing, more so than it reminded me of Aliens. It was very John Carpenter. It was very, I don't know. I don't think this is gonna work. And I really didn't like that ending and that last alien fight. It left a lot to be desired. And then they used the phrase from when Sigourney Weaver was having the fight with the alien and she was inside of that walking, what is that? Some sort of like, it was like this suit she was inside of. They actually used the same kind of suits in the movie Avatar. It's the same director, James Cameron. James Cameron did Avatar, and these robots that you basically in the robot, your arms, and you're like moving. You can like lift up thousands of pounds. Where Sigourney Weaver was, Ripley. Let's call her Ripley. Ripley was fighting. She was fighting the alien with this. She was inside of this construction suit that allowed that turn her from a 5'7" person to a 14-foot person, because she's like got the legs strapped in and the arms. It was really a great scene. James Cameron did so well at that Aliens 2, or just the movie Aliens, second movie, where this is the seventh movie. And I just I didn't like it. I didn't like the ending of the movie, and then the countdown to, it was like 10 minutes before the ship, 10 minutes before the space station crashes into the ice rings of this planet, was like 25 minutes. It did. I thought it was when they said 40 minutes until the ship crashes. I was thinking it was gonna be like an actual timeline, something like the TV show 24, and how the TV show 24 would only give you 1 hour timelines per episode. So that means that you actually only saw 1 hour happen, where this movie was a little all over the place and it wasn't consistent. And I didn't like that aspect of it. So I have to give the movie a B because of that. I have to give the movie 1 thumbs up because of that. I have to say the movie was like, would I recommend this movie? Probably not. Do I say go out and see this movie? I say you could watch this movie on your phone. You don't need the big screen. It wasn't that good. And I'm just being objective here. And I hope that this review leaves you thinking a little bit. Don't forget, press the screen twice. Bing, bing. Let's get that done. All right, let me see. Are You a Wolf? That's by Andres. Kamala 42. What's up? Liquid Nitrogen. Thank you for that. We got William Gonzalez. The human-looking alien is trying. Wait, let me go back. What just happened? There were 2 different colonies. The children were in the planet that was terraformed. The planet, and Romulus is a mining planet, and them kids wanted to get off of it. Right, exactly. That's William Gonzalez. How you doing, William Gonzalez? Thank you for joining in. If you want to subscribe, that'll be kind of cool too. Red Rocket. Shadow Band again. Damn, something almost scared this man so bad it almost turned him white. He a piece of work. Daniel Adams. He looked like a burnt out. Oh, calling me a burnt out Don King. I look burnt out? Are you kidding me? I have massive life in me. I believe he's an alien, yeah. And you have the do know. What type of comments did I just read, bro? Nah, that's the craziest I've seen all day. He probably holding on to one in the mouth or two. He's swollen, goes down. I don't know what that means. All right, the human-looking alien is tying into the video game Alien Fire Team Station 4. I can see that. I could see that there is some. I believe that there was this alien, human-looking alien is probably true to some sort of, like you said, gaming. You know, it is what it is. Don't forget, hit the like button twice if you've gotten any value out of this review, and you want to help me pay the 25. And feel free to do that. That's $ Elvis Rosenberg. That's $ Elvis Rosenberg. Or you can do the Venmo. That's at Elvis Rosenberg. You are appreciated. Oh, let me move this to its new spot. And I love you. And thank you for coming. Thank you for checking us out. What do you think about what? That's off topic, sir. The Geek 2010. Hey, can I get a Big Mac with a large fries and a medium Coke and a quarter pounder with cheese? Of course you can, sir. Are you kidding me? That's very available. Don't limit yourself. Get what you like. And I love you.